The Empire discovered Earth's deadliest soldiers blend in as civilians. The Zyrithian Empire thought they understood humanity. They had charted our cities, monitored our broadcasts, dissected our technology. By the time their fleets darkened Earth's skies, they believed us soft creatures of comfort and distraction, hardly worth the effort of conquest. Their mistake wasn't in underestimating our weapons. It was in misunderstanding our people. Chapter 1: The Occupation. The Zyrithians landed with fire and proclamation. Their commander, Lord Vector, announced Earth as a protectorate. Resistance was brief. Our militaries fell back, our governments fractured, our armies scattered. Within weeks, alien patrols roamed our streets, smug and unchallenged. Humans bowed their heads, opened shops, and returned to their routines. On the surface, Earth was pacified. But the Zyrithians noticed something strange. Certain civilians, barbers, bus drivers, factory workers, watched them with unreadable eyes. Their steps were too measured. Their hands, calloused in peculiar ways. They looked ordinary, but they moved differently. Vector dismissed it as paranoia. They are defeated, he sneered. Farmers and mechanics, nothing more. He was wrong. Chapter 2: The First Strike. It happened in a marketplace in Prague. A patrol was harassing vendors when a man selling fruit snapped. He didn't shout. He didn't posture. He moved. In seconds, 3 Zyrithians lay broken on the cobblestones, their weapons dismantled, their throats crushed. Witnesses said the man used nothing but a knife and his hands. By the time reinforcements arrived, the fruit seller was gone. The Empire called it an isolated incident. A lucky outburst. Then it happened again. And again. A janitor in São Paulo disarmed an entire squad with a mop handle. A schoolteacher in Nairobi turned chalkboards into barricades and repelled soldiers with improvised explosives. A grandmother in Detroit accidentally lured a tank column into an ambush using nothing more than road flares and kitchen oil. The Zyrithians began to realize these were not accidents. Chapter 3: The Hidden Legion. Interrogations followed. Civilians were rounded up. Many broke quickly, but none gave the Empire what it wanted, an explanation. It was only when a low-ranking officer studied human records that the truth began to surface. Humans had soldiers who retired. Soldiers who left the battlefield, shed uniforms, and returned to normal life. Veterans, they were called. But they weren't gone. They had blended back into society, bakers, mechanics, students, parents, carrying the skills of war in their bones. The Zyrithians realized with dawning horror that Earth was seeded with these people. Hundreds of thousands. Maybe millions. Soldiers without banners. Warriors without orders. And they had been hiding in plain sight. Chapter 4: The Awakening. Lord Vector tightened his grip. Curfews. Searches. Camps. He thought fear would contain the veterans. It did the opposite. The more the Empire cracked down, the more veterans emerged. They trained neighbors under the guise of community exercise. They passed down tactics in coded conversations at cafes. They smuggled weapons in bread carts and fuel trucks. And when the time came, they didn't fight like a conventional army. They fought like civilians. A subway strike in Tokyo disabled 3 Zyrithian transports. In Cairo, laundromats became safe houses. In Chicago, garbage trucks hid entire strike teams. Every street, every alley, every neighborhood became a battlefield. The veterans had turned Earth itself into a weapon. Chapter 5: The Empire Learns Fear. Zyrithian soldiers began refusing patrol duty. They feared children with backpacks, old men with walking sticks, women carrying groceries. Every civilian could be a veteran in disguise. Every crowd, a trap. Reports spread of snipers no one ever saw, bombs no one ever planted, ambushes no one ever planned. The Empire realized it wasn't fighting an army anymore, it was fighting a people. And the worst part? There was no single leader to kill, no command to dismantle. The veterans had seeded resilience everywhere. Chapter 6: The Turning Point. The breaking point came in New Delhi. The Empire staged a massive show of force, lining the streets with armored vehicles. They broadcast a speech promising mercy if humanity accepted subjugation. Halfway through, the power grid failed. Darkness swallowed the city. When the lights returned, every Zyrithian officer on stage was dead. Not shot. Not bombed. Killed silently, each with a blade through the throat. The cameras captured nothing but shadows. Lord Vector's voice shook for the first time when he barked new orders. They are everywhere. Trust no one. Chapter 7: The Exfiltration. I was there when the Empire began to retreat. I wasn't a veteran myself, just a medic. But I watched them work, the butcher down the street, the quiet woman who ran the library, the old man who sold newspapers. They all carried themselves with the same calm precision. They weren't soldiers anymore. They were something else. Something scarier. Because the Empire could fight armies. They could crush fleets. But how do you fight people who look like everyone else? How do you conquer a world where every shopkeeper, every cab driver, every schoolteacher might be a warrior? The answer was simple. You don't. Chapter 8: The Departure. Within a year, the Zyrithians were gone. They left quietly, without ceremony, abandoning their banners and their boasts. Officially, the Empire called it a strategic withdrawal. But soldiers who'd survived Earth whispered the truth in mess halls and barracks across the stars. They whispered about the humans. Not the armies. Not the governments. But the hidden legion, those who fought wars, then went home and pretended to be ordinary. The ones who blended in, unnoticed, until the time came to fight again. Epilogue: The lesson. Now, when other empires speak of conquering Earth, the veterans are the shadow in their minds. Because they learned what Lord Vector never understood, humans don't stop being soldiers when the war ends. They just go back to being neighbors, shopkeepers, parents. And that makes us terrifying. Because no matter where you look on Earth, the deadliest soldier you'll ever meet might be the one bagging your groceries.